Their eyes met at the same instant, Therese glancing up from a box she was opening, and the woman just turning her head so she looked directly at Therese. She was tall and fair, her long figure graceful in the loose fur coat that she held open with a hand on her waist. Her eyes were gray, colorless, yet dominant as light or fire. And caught by them, Therese could not look away. They roared into the Lincoln Tunnel. A wild, inexplicable excitement mounted in Therese as she stared through the windshield. She wished the tunnel might cave in and kill them both, that their bodies might be dragged out together. I feel I am in love with you, and it should be spring. I want the sun throbbing on my head like chords of music. I think of a sun like Beethoven, a wind like Debussy, and bird calls like Stravinsky, but the tempo is all mine. But there was not a moment when she did not see Carol in her mind, and all she saw, she seemed to see through Carol. That evening, the dark, flat streets of New York, the tomorrow of work, the milk bottle dropped and broken in her sink, became unimportant. She flung herself on her bed and drew a line with a pencil on a piece of paper, and another line carefully, and another. A world was born around her, like a bright forest with a million shimmering leaves. Was it love, or wasn't it, that she felt for Carol? And how absurd it was that she didn't even know. She had heard about girls falling in love, and she knew what kind of people they were and what they looked like. Neither she nor Carol looked like that. Yet the way she felt about Carol passed all the tests for love and fitted all the descriptions. I feel I stand in a desert with my hands outstretched, and you are raining down upon me. It had all happened in that instant. She had seen Carol standing in the middle of the floor, watching her. Then the realization that so much had happened after that meeting made her feel incredibly lucky suddenly. It was so easy for a man and woman to find each other, to find someone who would do. But for her to have found Carol. Then Carol slipped her arm under her neck, and all the length of their bodies touched, fitting as if something had prearranged it. Happiness was like a green vine spreading through her, stretching fine tendrils, bearing flowers through her flesh. She had a vision of a pale white flower, shimmering as if seen in darkness or through water. Why did people talk of heaven? She wondered. And she did not have to ask if this was right. No one had to tell her, because this could not have been more right or perfect. But when they kissed goodnight in bed, Therese felt their sudden release, that leap of response in both of them, as if their bodies were of some materials which, put together, inevitably created desire. How was it possible to be afraid and in love, Therese thought? The two things did not go together. How was it possible to be afraid when the two of them grew stronger together every day and every night? Every night was different, and every morning, together they possessed a miracle. What was it to love someone? What was love exactly? And why did it end or not end? Those were the real questions, and who could answer them? I am drinking my rise, and you would tell me they depress me, I know. But I wasn't prepared for these days after those weeks with you. They were happy weeks. You knew it more than I did. You say you love me however I am, and when I curse, I say I love you always, the person you are and the person you will become. You ask if I miss you. I think of your voice, your hands, and your eyes when you look straight into mine. I remember your courage that I hadn't suspected, and it gives me courage. Carol raised her hand slowly and brushed her hair back, once on either side, and Therese smiled because the gesture was Carol, and it was Carol she loved and would always love. Oh, in a different way now, because she was a different person, and it was like meeting Carol all over again. But it was still Carol and no one else. It would be Carol in 1,000 cities, 1,000 houses, in foreign lands where they would go together, in heaven and in hell.